Today we're joined by Neville Wright, whose main accomplishment is taking Kiddicare along with his wife Marilyn and selling it for £70 million. And aside from this, you're also very experienced in property and property investment. So thank you very much for joining us, Neville.
Well, you're very welcome, and nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for inviting me onto this podcast.
Yeah, so I suppose we'll just start things off informally. So what have you been up to recently?
There's never enough hours in the day, and I make that because being ADHD and I need to do lots and lots of things. And it's obviously been a strange year for everybody, but over the last 40 years, I've invented work. I've made work. I've created work, not only for me, but for thousands and thousands of other people. So I am a job creator.
Yeah.
I am. And there's thousands of job creators in this country. And that's what the government, and don't get me on the government, but that's what the government needs. It doesn't need all these politicians. It needs 1 million more salespeople.
Okay.
And business people to go out and create business. And I'm a business creator, and that's what I do. And so, therefore, I've always got too much to do, which is good, because if I didn't, I'd probably end up depressed and too much vino and too much food. And this is what happens.
Yeah.
So you have your goals, your wants, your hopes, your dreams, and it doesn't matter whether you are 7 or 70.
Yeah.
And you still have those things. And if you haven't got those things, I am trying to motivate people to get those things. If they've lost their dreams, if they've lost their hopes, if they've lost everything, then I that's one of my ambitions. That's one of my goals now, is to encourage people. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. I've seen, especially.
I don't know what the question was.
On the YouTube as well, especially the fitness stuff as well, inspiring people with that. So, kind of, what brought that about in terms of putting the YouTube work at 7.5?
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was somebody, a couple of people. Usually, it takes a couple of people to give you an idea. And what happened is somebody said, while we've got this lockdown, and we're all, well, not all, but majority of us, me included, are eating and drinking too much, not doing enough exercise, and not doing our bodies any good, our health any good, our immune system any good. Why don't you motivate some of us and do something? So I invented this within a second, this 7.50, meaning I'm 70 and I want to be as fit as when I was 50. But the problem was, when I was 50, I was a fat boy and I was a bit lethargic, but I was tied up in my business.
Yeah.
So health and what you ate and drank was a secondary thing. Alcohol was for stress relief at the end of a manic day. Food was fuel, and it wasn't eaten properly or didn't, it was just whatever it was, and it was in whatever restaurant. So it wasn't good food. Oh, I'm not saying restaurants don't serve good food. I'm not saying that. I meant, there's
the fast food takeaway.
Fast food. That's what I meant. And I shouldn't. I'm not knocking any restaurants, because I'm part owner of 30 in London, which is just like, what's that all about? And some of those fit outs were £2.5 to £3.5 million for each venue.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money to be sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So the fitness thing came at a second house arrest on whenever it was, the 2nd of November.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd do it for 30 days to motivate people, and it motivated me actually.
Yeah.
I've been in the gym this morning, I know you wouldn't think so, but yeah. So if you're 70 like I am and you're feeling a bit lethargic, then come on, let's get on with it. If you are 50 and you're feeling like 70, yeah. So that's what it comes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's always a long way around. I'll waffle on a lot, but sorry about that.
To be honest, that leads perfectly to the kind of the next question, really. So, essentially, if you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
I saw those questions last night, and I wrote a few things down. Can't even find them now. On my billboard is no pain, no gain.
Okay.
And that's what I would have, because in life, you find if you want to gain, you've got to go through the pain. And I don't care, nothing is easy. But to make things easy, you can make things easy, and it's all in your mind. But you've got to go through that pain. I want bigger muscles. I've never had muscles ever. Sparrow's kneecaps. But I mean, I never had any muscles a year ago at all.
Yeah.
They'd gone. They'd run away. I don't know where they've gone. Anyway, so I'm starting to get some muscle.
Biceps, yeah.
So you have to go through those pains. So you've got to do your crunches. You've got to do 100 crunches a day. You've got to do lift 100 times. I'm up to 140 pounds. So, it's not a lot for a lot of people, but I'm getting there. So no pain, no gain. And that is throughout life, whatever you do.
Yeah.
And the more you get into business, the more pain there is, but the more pleasure there is at the same time, because you're seeing these hurdles you're getting over, and you're leaving other people behind, that say, I wouldn't do that, come back and be in our group, you're going out there on a limb, you'll fail, and all that. But you see, there's that encouragement in your mind of you've got to go through the pain barrier.
Yeah.
So
gym, fitness, business, every aspect of life, really.
No pain, no gain.
That's on the billboard. Yeah, I definitely think that's so true.
And if you want another coffee, just shout, because I'll get you another coffee. I live on coffee.
Yeah, so at least 2 or 3 cups a day for sure. So it kind of leads on to the next question. Fantastic. So no pain, no gain. So where you are now, so you're almost 70.
No, almost 71.
Oh wow! To be fair, when I looked at the pictures, I did think you're about 55. So yeah, the fitness definitely does kind of help keep you looking youthful.
Yeah.
But if you had to go back in time, or could turn back in time and speak to your 18-year-old self, what message would you say to yourself? What advice would you give?
Well, I'm co-author of a book, Advice to Your Younger Self, that was launched last year.
Yeah.
There's, I think there's 47 people who are in that book, and you only get like a couple of pages. You do, which I could have wrote a book on it anyway. But and you only get, so I only give myself 1 day to write those couple of pages and think about it. And I do say. You have to. I forget what I say, but I say you've got to look after yourself. You've got to have to. First, you've got to look after yourself. Get on a plane.
Yeah.
And what do they say when you are going through the safety instructions? In the case of a cabin air loss, put your own mask on first. This is the oxygen mask, not the mask which is at the moment. Put your own oxygen mask on first. So I say, look after your body, look after your health. Yeah. And I also say, and I said in that book, look after your teeth. Nice. And I wish I'd have been taught in school. I mean, my teeth are okay, but half of them are not mine. But I started having them pulled out when I was 16 because I didn't want the pain. I was afraid of the pain. Yeah. And instead of having them drilled in those days, and I'm talking about 1966, you know, when it really hurt, there was nobody there to explain anything, that your teeth are connected to all of your body.
Yeah.
And I think you should look after your teeth, and you should know why. And the education system should teach kids about their body, about everything that's to do with their life, their health and everything. So look after yourself.
Okay.
Look after your body, look after you, and then you are then capable, once you've done that, to look after other people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. So even personally speaking, when I first started business, I failed to look after myself. So yeah, I got kind of really overweight, 120 kilos I peaked at. But yeah, we are coming down now, as I realised health really is wealth at the end of the day. It's not worth sacrificing that for business, really, is it?
Yeah.
What's the most important thing you've learned in your life?
Okay, yeah, so very simple. It all comes down to one thing, and that ain't no free lunch.
Yeah.
And that's it. And people have said this, you know, I'm not the first person to say it, and I certainly won't be the last.
What do you mean by no free lunch?
Well, the thing is, nobody's going to look after you. You know, it's you've got to look after yourself.
Yeah.
And then whatever you want in life, and there's a saying, you can get everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want.
Is that Zig
Ziglar? Yeah. Zig Ziglar is one of my mentors, one of my heroes. Unfortunately, he died a few years ago. I have spoken to his wife since he died, and I do advertise his stuff. Yeah. And I had Zig with me in my car for 30 years. He did other things as well, but it was, it was great that he recorded all the stuff that he recorded, and I was able to have him alongside me for 30 years in my car, because my car was my classroom.
Yeah. And
that's where I learned everything, because I certainly didn't learn anything at school. And so there's no free lunch, and there isn't. And that's what it boils down to. And whatever you want in life, it's down to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talk about that, and you book quite a bit as well about listening to Zig in the car.
Yeah.
Over 30 hours, those audio tapes on repeat, which you can even buy now still. So for other people who do want to listen to that and have that education, it's available so cheap now, isn't it?
It is. Before you go, I'll take you down to my studio, and you'll see some of the stuff which is 30, 40 years old that I've still got. And I used to have those tapes. For people who don't know what the tapes are, they're recordings anyway, and I used to wear them out and buy some more.
Yeah.
And they were so expensive in those days. And now education is so cheap nowadays.
Yeah. If free, with that stuff on YouTube, fantastic stuff.
Well, if
like
you go on my website, or it's free. It is.
Yeah. There's never really been a better time to want to learn something, is there?
No.
Yeah. So your book, it's called The Answer Is Yes. Now, what is the question? What's the message behind that?
That came a few days after starting the business, and a customer looked at the ladder when I was cleaning their windows, and then they said, "Well, you're here, Neville, can you?" And I go, "Yes." And they go, "I haven't asked a question yet." And I go, "I'll do anything you want, as long as it's not immoral or illegal in my mum's eyes." Yeah. And so behind that is what do you want? I can't even. What question was that?
You explained kind of what the meaning is. It's basically
what number is it?
4.
All right. Right, this is what I say in the book. If you do what the customer wants, then you'll win. If you don't do what the customer wants, you'll fail.
Yeah.
So that's what's behind the book. The answer is yes. Now, what is the question? Do what the customer asks. If you are a customer, and you ask a question, what do you want the answer to be?
Yeah.
You want it to. Somebody's looking at a car, and it's a white car, and you go, do you do it in blue? Well, the salesman should say, will you sign here if I do it in blue?
Yeah.
Get the answer. But yeah, if the answer is yes, we do it in blue, it's made your day.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of brings on to Kiddicare. So since you sold Kiddicare, it's been sold a couple of other times. It's now
4 times, I believe.
4 times, and it's been kind of closed down now, and the product line is transferred.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's sad, really.
Yeah.
It's very sad, unnecessary. They broke the mould, as to say. They didn't take and run with the methods. What we'd made over the years.
Yeah.
So we designed and we built a business that worked with everything in it that worked for a reason. But when you take something that works and you alter it, it's like taking a car and you go, well, that's a lovely car, I've got a lovely Mercedes, but why would we want 4 wheels? Let's take one off and see if we can't run it on 3.
Yeah. It's not going to work, is it?
It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So they broke the system.
Yeah.
They broke it up, thinking that. I mean, it's like the old saying about the golden goose, because that was a golden goose. Somebody described it in the 80s. No, they didn't describe it. I described it, but somebody asked a question in the 80s and 90s as we was building the business, and they said to me, "You've got a marvellous nursery business," and I said, "Well, actually, it's a cash machine."
Yeah,
it is. What we have built is a cash machine, and you could make this. We shift boxes. I was being a bit flippant about it. I mean, there's a lot more to becoming a pramologist than shifting boxes. It takes 2 years to become a pramologist. We're very serious about it, but it was a cash machine. And I forgot the question again. Where are we going?
Just talking about Kiddicare and kind of
how it was
broken.
So they took the system and they altered it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you one example, just one, and there's thousands and thousands of examples. What we did, how we did it, and what they broke. So we had 10 girls.
Yeah.
And I say girls because they seemed to be the best on customer service. So we had this telephone system, and this was developed over a number of years because we wanted it to be right. So you used to ring up, and you do now, and you ring, you get through, and it says you are in a queue. But nowadays, you can be in a queue for 40, 50 minutes, whatever it is, and you never know. But our system was, "Hi, welcome to Kiddicare. You are in a queue. You are about 17 minutes from being answered, or 30 minutes, or whatever it is, or 10 minutes, whatever." And it used to tell you, "We estimate you'll be 17 minutes before you get answered. If you don't want to hold, put the phone down and ring in 20 minutes and you'll be at front of the queue."
Okay.
So that relieved the pressure of the customer saying, "I can't believe this place, you can never get through, blah, blah, blah." Now, we go one step further, which you always should do. You should always do more than you're paid to do. And at 5 o'clock, we've got a big screen, and at 5 o'clock, 2 of the girls used to go and look up at the screen and phone the people who had never phoned back.
Okay.
And they go, "Hi, this is Sarah from Kiddicare. You phoned at 2:56 and you didn't ring back." And they go, "Oh, I forgot. Or I was feeding a baby. I had to go to work.
Yeah.
And they go, can I help you? And they go, well, I had a problem.
Yeah.
But now I haven't got it. I've got a question. Would you be able to help me? You know. And it took the anger that people had got because their wheel had fell off.
Yeah.
It took it from there down to here because they're so appreciative that we actually rang back.
Yeah.
So that is one thing, and they scrapped that.
Well,
They scrapped that system. So, you know, what do they expect?
yeah, it's just
When you perfect something, and then somebody comes along and scraps it, why didn't they ring me and go, Neville, why did you have that system? Because we're just about to scrap it.
yeah,
You know, or the system is costing too much money. Then I would have said to them, do you realise how much it's making you?
Yeah.
In raving fans, which we never wanted a customer.
Yeah.
Didn't want any customers at all. All we wanted was raving fans. People would tell the world. We wanted chickens. We didn't want ducks. A duck, when it lays an egg, it tells one person, it goes quack. A chicken, when it lays an egg, it'll run around the farmyard. It'll be shouting, "Look, I've laid an egg!" You know, and that's a raving fan.
Yeah.
And we wanted raving fans, and we have thousands of these little things that made up a business.
Yeah. And
So sad, you know, that was it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. They give me the money. They give me the money and told me to go.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't complain about it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned raving fans in the book as well, don't you? How it's a fantastic book for anyone to read in business about making raving fans. It's a good book. I read that certainly.
You know, I gave out 100 and some odd raving fan books.
Okay.
And then when it come to the book, I wanted one. And I hadn't got. I'd give my last copy away to our general manager, and so I went online to get a second-hand raving fans book.
Yeah.
It came in the post, and it was one of the books I gave away, and I know that because I put the Kiddicare stamp in.
Oh wow.
Yeah. How bizarre is that?
Yeah.
I just wonder if the person I gave it to actually read it.
Yeah.
But it's back in my possession, like another book that disappeared and it came back to me.
Is that the one you mentioned in the book about the one edition that you lent out to a friend and
Yes.
giving it back?
Yeah,
That's back now.
that's back.
Ah, perfect.
And that came back before the book was published. And that came back, you know, is the power of the mind, this power of the subconscious mind
Yeah.
is incredible. Because how did that book come back to me after all those years before the book was published?
Yeah.
Because I added a page in to say the book is back. How bizarre is that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have you seen, is that all to do with The Secret and Law of Attraction? Have you seen anything on those lines?
Shall we say, studied that type of thing,
Yeah.
and I've practiced that sort of thing for as far back as I can remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you
a lot of people go, now he's becoming a bit of a nutcase, but you don't tell people because the people are not believers,
Yeah.
and so therefore you don't say anything, but you can manifest your own destiny.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. The power of the law of attraction, isn't it? It's a fantastic concept.
Yes.
And people need to fully understand it.
And it works.
Yeah.
And I've made it work over and when I've distrusted it or forgot it or gone, that's a load of baloney, things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start to focus back, then it comes back to you.
Yeah.
The law of attraction.
Yeah. Very powerful stuff.
Yeah.